It's finally happened. Israeli police have recommended that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu be indicted for bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. His case, now in the hands of Israel's Attorney General. That's his job to decide if the recommendations become criminal charges. Across Israel, everyone is asking the same question. Does this mean the end of Netanyahu's political career? Let's start from the top. What exactly do police think Netanyahu should be charged with? There are two separate cases. The first, labeled Case 1000 by the police, is known as the cigars and champagne case. Those are among the luxury items the Prime Minister and his wife received from their wealthy friends. Now, the Netanyahus admit they received gifts from Hollywood mogul Arnon Milchan and from Australian billionaire James Packer. They just deny they gave them any favors in exchange. It's the kind of things friends do for each other, they've contended. But the police report says otherwise. It lists 5 different times they believe Netanyahu paid Milchan back for his friendship, and they recommend indicting Milchan as well. In Case 2000, Netanyahu is accused of cutting a deal with the publisher of one of Israel's leading newspapers for positive coverage. Netanyahu was caught on tape negotiating with Yediot Ahronot publisher Arnon Moses. He promised to weaken its biggest competitor, Israel Hayom, owned by Sheldon Adelson. In return, Netanyahu wanted Yediot to cover him more favorably. The Prime Minister says he didn't really mean what he told Moses. He was just testing him, he argues. Again, the police beg to differ. They recommend charging both Netanyahu and Moses. So what happens next? No law says Netanyahu must resign over these recommendations. He doesn't even have to quit if he's indicted. Now, it's true that Netanyahu has a solid base of popular political support in the country. But when polled, Israelis have said they don't want a leader with a possible criminal trial hanging over his head. But wait, there's more. These 2 cases aren't Netanyahu's only legal headaches. There are 2 others. There's Case 3000, which involves submarines, bribery, and 2 Netanyahu associates. And Case 4000, which concerns a telecom giant, secret information, and a close Netanyahu friend who just happens to be the firm's biggest shareholder. Back to the big question. What will Netanyahu do now? Will he quit to fight his legal battles full time? His message on that has been clear. He made a defiant statement immediately after the recommendations were made.
אני בטוח שהאמת תצא לאור. ואני בטוח שגם בבחירות הבאות, שיתקיימו במועדם, אזכה שוב באמונכם, בעזרת השם.
He's not going anywhere. That's consistently been his message. Here he is recently at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
That nothing will come of it because there's nothing to come out.
Indictments against a public figure in Israel can take months. It's not a quick process at all. Neither is preparing for a potential trial. If Netanyahu is determined to stay in office and his party and his coalition continue to stand by him, it's possible he could achieve his goal of lasting until the next elections are scheduled, November 2019. So, don't count Bibi out yet. He may not have been too optimistic when he told his fellow world leaders in Davos. See you next year.